Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. I got a new camera I'm going to be testing out tonight. It's more of a vlogging style camera. It's small, portable, which makes it really nice for this time of year. It gets pretty hard to take my big camera equipment and tripod and gimbal and all that stuff when all the brush is really high and it's real nasty in the woods this time of year. So I got something a little more portable so I can start doing more like nightly vlogs. I'm still going to make the same videos that I always make with my good camera equipment, the more edited professional looking ones. These are going to be just more kind of like nightly updates. Every night that I go hunting, I'll make one of these and post it on Patreon first. So if you're on Patreon, you'll get to see this months in advance. I'm going to show every dog that I'm hunting, my dogs, the pups I'm hunting for other people, kind of give some background on them. Show everything. If they make mistakes, those will be in here. They do good, that'll be in there. Kind of just be raw, everything that happens tonight, you'll get to see it. And I've been hunting Randy's female a lot lately, and Tony hasn't been out much, so I decided it'd be a good time to take him out and see what he can do. So we'll just get going here and get my collar all hooked up, turned on, and get Tony loaded up into the box, and we'll head out to the woods. One thing too I wanted to mention, since this is my first time using this camera, it might take me a little bit to get used to it, and I don't know how the audio will be, and I don't know about the lighting when you're out in the woods and stuff. I might need to get a different mic or a different little external light or something, but I'm sure it'll get better as I use it. Like I said, this is my first time using this camera, so bear with me, but it should be a good time. Good boy, buddy. Still trying to think where I should go. Been hunting the same spots quite a bit lately, mostly because of the crops. There's wheat around a lot of my best spots, and I don't particularly like walking through it, and don't really want to walk through it. If I can get around the edges of it, that's usually the best this time of year. So I've been hunting some places where it's easy to get to the woods, and then they're just sitting along the edges, makes it nice. I'm sure most of you already know the story behind this Bluetick named Tony. His full name is actually Starks Tony Soprano. But if you're new and you're not sure about this dog, he is about 17 or 18 months old now, I believe. He's off of Country Club and one of Matt Lingo's females. Country Club is a son of Big Country. He's a really nice blue dog, and I got him from Matt Lingo and Terry Tappy. Just kind of, this time of year actually is kind of how I started him. One thing I like to do with pups, especially this time of year, gets into July, they start harvesting the wheat, and then once they take the wheat off, the coon will really go out in that stubble, digging for grain and stuff. And you can walk around those field edges when it's really dry this time of year pretty quietly and just leave your red light on. You can walk right up on top of a coon, and if you have a pup with you that's mature enough to handle an encounter like that, I just like walking them around there, and that's kind of how I started Tony. I was walking around a wheat field, and I had my red light on. There was about 4 or 5 coon out in the field I could see with my red light, and just walked him out there, and he caught wind of them, took off running, and he didn't even realize they were there, but he accidentally stepped on one, and it snapped at him, and he never took a hold of it. He just bait it, and I went and held Tony's collar so the coon could run away, and the coon ran away, so the coon was safe, and really fired him up. Then I let Tony go, and he ran the track and treed it, and that's just kind of how I got him started. And you just gotta kind of, around here, you gotta do what works for that time of year. It's different every time of year, different food sources in the summertime. Be around mulberry trees or wheat fields, water if it's hot and dry. So it just depends. I just lucked into that with him, and I try doing it as natural as possible, and it seems to work out pretty good for me. He's been doing really good by himself. He's super consistent, has a great mouth. One thing that I did notice with him though, since it has gotten really hot, he doesn't tree very good, but that's, most dogs don't tree good when it's super hot out in the summertime. But that'll come back just as it cools off. But I'm really excited for this fall. He'll be 2 right I think it was like January 3rd, I believe, is his birthday. So that's when he'll turn 2. Right at the end of December, beginning of January. I can't remember the exact day, but it's the end of December, beginning of January. So I'll get a really good season on him this year. And like I said, he's already a lot of fun to hunt, but anytime I can get a good season under a dog and get some fur in their mouth, it's fun for me, it's fun for them, and that makes all the difference. And I'm not one to really rush a pup. I'm not in a hurry to put him in a pup hunt or anything. So like I wouldn't even, me personally, I wouldn't put a dog in a hunt unless it was at least 2 years old, just because I know I got a good amount of hunting in them, and everyone's different. I don't think it'll hurt him, but I just would rather have that much work in one before I decide to put one in a hunt. So now I think I decided I'm going to try this one little patch section. It's got corn around it, but it's way too early for there to be anything on. You'll see when I get there. It'll probably only be about knee high. I don't know if there'll be anything in there. It'll probably be difficult for them, but it's a place I haven't hunted in a while, so I'm hoping there might be something out stirring, just to give the other places a break. So we're about there now. Well, I was wrong. It's not knee high, it's about chest high, so I'm gonna have to walk him back to the woods. He will run through this, but unfortunately the rows go away from the woods, so typically when you turn a dog loose in this, they will just take a row, and I don't want them to go that way. Soaking wet now, walking through that corn. We got about 4 inches of rain in the last 2 days, so everything's soaking wet, and there's dew on the corn leaves, so my lower half is drenched already. But it's about 72 degrees, so it's not cold or hot. It's all right. Good boy, buddy. Not sure if I'll be able to zoom in on my computer anymore, but he's got one laid up there. Good job, buddy. Actually got 2 laid up there. Job, bud. Good boy. Hey, you got him. Good job. Gotta lay up in here on a creek bank. Get out of here. Go somewhere else. Good job. Well, didn't get a lot of the track because there wasn't really one. He just fell treed and he hit the timber, ran the edge, to the right until he got to the corner of the woods, and then he took a left and went quite a ways away from me, and then he cut in the woods, went about right in the middle of it along a creek bank and treed, had a layup in there. I'm soaking wet again from the corn, so load him up and go to a different spot. Hopefully we can get on another one. I'm absolutely soaked. Gotta open the door for you, buddy. Back up. Gotta open the door, bud. Good boy. Good boy, bud. He's a little wet too. I have to dry him off before he comes back inside. Give him a bath too, probably. This way, buddy. Just got Tony loose again. It's about 600 yards from where I turned him to the woods. So I'm going to keep walking slowly and hopefully he gets on one here in a little bit. Just wanted to answer one question I got on Patreon. Someone asked how I handle hunting in the really hot weather. What I usually do when it's really, really hot, like where it isn't really going to be good, but if the dog's at a point where it needs to be hunted some, I will always, no matter what, make sure it's well hydrated, always has quality water all day, all night. Feed it high quality dog food. I'm feeding Inukshuk now, I think is how you say it. It's a Canadian company that makes dog food for sled dogs, and it is the best food I've ever had. It's not even close. It blows everything else out of the water that I've had. It doesn't take that much to feed them. It is very expensive. But if I expect my dogs to perform and I want them to be healthy and look good and sound good, food matters. So I spend the money and give them that. And good food, good water, good shelter so they're not getting hot during the day. And then if it's really hot, it's going to be hot for the coon too. So they're probably going to be around water. So I usually just make one drop a night, maybe two if it's the first one goes good. And I go close to a water source for two reasons. One, that's where the coon will probably be. And two, when you get there, the dog has somewhere to cool off and get a drink. And I don't push them when it's crazy hot out. Like I said, just turn them loose once, tree one, be done. Maybe twice at most. And that's just how I do it. He's like 900 yards in there opening. I don't know if you'll be able to hear him or not. Yeah, he's 900 and he's treed, so when I get closer, I'll click this on. My first time using this, there's no external mic on it. Like on my big camera, there's a shotgun mic, so you can aim at the direction of the dogs and it can pick up the audio. This doesn't have that, so I don't know how it's going to be listening a long ways away. So I'll just click this back on when I get a little bit closer. I'm back. It is so muddy. My boots are about 10 pounds a piece. About 300 yards from him right now. I'm hoping you can hear him. He sounds pretty good. Good for this time of year, I should say. When it gets hot, he slows down some. But getting wet back there in that cornfield cooled him down, I'm sure. Got to fill in that ditch. They're bouncing back and forth with these two. Probably some kittens. Good job. Good boy, buddy. Checked it over. Hard to get a light into it in the middle of the woods. Great big tree. Don't see anything right now, and I don't own a thermal. But the way he flew in here and got treed, I'd imagine there's something up there. Treed again. Not too far away. Kind of ran the edge of this creek and just fell treed. Big leaner. Where's he at, bub? Good job, bud. Good boy. Good boy. It is definitely a den tree. Goes up there. It's 3 trees connected into one. Got lucky on that one. Little gap where you can look up into the tree. I really need to get a thermal, but they're just too expensive for me to justify it for pleasure hunting. But he's doing good so far. Treed 2 obvious ones and 1 maybe. I think I'm gonna cut him loose again. He sounds pretty good. It's one of those nights where I should go home and go to bed and get some rest, but he's starting to fire up a little bit, so we're gonna keep going. Got him recut. He's only about 80 yards from me right now. Most dogs, I'd be getting on him to get out of here, but this dog, if he slows down and is working a spot, there's probably a coon there. He don't really run past anything, so you get into a pocket of him, he'll tree him pretty well. So we're just gonna wait here a little bit and see what he does. I'll get my phone out real quick and see if he's moved or what he's doing. Check my dog trail before I shut this off. He's went a little bit further. There's a bunch of creek bottoms in here. We've got a lot of rain, so they're full. So he's running them, and that's good this time of year. It's not super hot tonight, but this time of year in the summertime, they like being around water. He ended up taking that ditch. He got to the edge of the woods, and he's around the edge a little bit now, so I'm going to head out there and get towards the outside. Maybe you can hear him a little bit better if he starts opening. He just located twice. He shut up for just a few minutes. It's really thick and nasty in there. He's struggling to get through it. But he's running a track. Had to get me into the nettles at least once tonight. Man. Good job, bud. be hard to find it thick in here. Good job, buddy. Good boy. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Well, I'm glad he had one on this one because he got me in some really nasty nettles. So I'm definitely done now and go home and take a shower. But first I'll probably go get in that creek behind me and wash my legs off. So. But he did good. Went in here and treated a layup. He's gonna be a lot of fun. He's gonna be a lot of fun this fall. Good job, buddy. Yeah, you did good, buddy. You got him. You got him. Out of that bottom finally. It's nasty down in there. It's a good spot to hunt. It's got water and berries and all sorts of stuff they need, but miserable for us. This woods is a lot better in the fall, but so many of my spots right now are too hard to get to with either crops or too much water. So we had to come here. Ended up being a pretty good night's hunt. The moon is beautiful tonight, and it reminded me one thing I'm gonna be doing with these videos too. Once the leaves come off, I have a new lens for my big camera, and it zooms in quite a bit. So I'm gonna incorporate that with this new little lens, and it'll make a huge difference in these quick everyday videos for you. Load up, buddy. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Like I said, this is my first time using this camera, so I'll have to learn all the features and how it works, what it does well, what it doesn't. Just gonna be another tool that I use, especially, like I said, in the summer months when it's really hot. It's hard to get all my equipment out there, and that way I can bring you 3 or 4 videos a week with this, hopefully, on top of all the videos that I normally do. So yeah, just if you need anything, let me know. Comment below or send me a message and we'll stay in touch, and I'll probably go back out again tomorrow. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. We're getting ready to take the dogs to the woods tonight using the Dogtra Pathfinder 2 GPS tracking system. Ow!